Hello guys, today I want to show you my Rainbow Dragoon numeron deck. So, this is a decent interruption deck. That's mostly what you're going to try to do. And then the raw power of the Rainbow Neos and Dragoon stuff will help you end your opponent after you just stop everything that they do. So, for further ado, let's get started. First, we have Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. When a card or effect is activated that includes any of these, you can discard this card to negate that effect. So when your opponent adds a card from the deck to the hand, special summons from the deck, or sends a card from the deck to the grave, you can discard this card to negate that effect, and this can only be used once per turn. Then we have the Black Metal Dragon. You can target one Red Eyes monster you control, equip this monster from your hand or field to that target, against 600 attack. If this card is sent from the field to the grave, you can add one Red Eyes monster card from your deck to your hand. Not monster, sorry guys. Ghost, Ogre, and Snow Rabbit. When a monster on the field activates this effect, or when a spell or trap that is already face up on the field activates this effect, you can send this card from your hand or field to the grave, destroy that card on the field. You can only use this effect of Ghost, Ogre, and Snow Rabbit once per turn. Keeper of Dragon Magic. As this card is normal or special summoned, you can discard one card, add one Polymerization normal spell card or Fusion normal spell card from your deck to your hand. You can reveal one Fusion monster in your extra deck, special summon one of the Fusion materials whose name is specifically listed on that monster from your graveyard in face down defense mode. You can only use each effect of Keeper of Dragon Magic once per turn. You can thus special summon monsters from the extra deck except Fusion monsters during the turn you activate either of this card's effects. So Keeper is usually going to be used to get Rainbow Neos Fusion so that you can actually use it the same turn. Next you have Nibiru the Primal Being. Rock type, 3,000 points. During the main phase, if your opponent normal or special summons 5 or more monsters this turn, you contribute as many face-up monsters on the field as possible. And if you do, special summon this card from your hand. Then special summon one Primal Being token. Rock type, light attribute, level 11, attack mystery, defense mystery to your opponent's field. This token's attack and defense become the combined original attack and defense of the attributed monsters. You can only use this effect of Nibiru, the Primal Being, once per turn. So that could potentially give your opponent a very high attack point monster. But considering that you can just destroy anything or send anything back to the deck with Rainbow Neos and Dragoon, you should be fine. Then we have 3 copies of Numeron Wall. If you control no cards except Numeron Wall, you can choose this card from your hand or field to the grave. After one Numeron network directly from your hand or deck, you can only use each of this effect of Numeron Wall once per turn. When you take battle damage, you can switch from this card from your hand, and if you do, end the damage step end the battle phase after the damage step. Then we have Rainbow Dragon. This card, I'm not going to read its effects because it's not in here for any reason except being used for Rainbow Neos. So yeah. You can't summon him at all because you don't have a Crystal Beast in here, but you're just, like I said, you're going to use him in the deck for Rainbow Neos because Neos Fusion lets you fuse it in the deck, and hopefully you don't draw them, considering that you have all these other cards to help you that you want to draw. Next we have Red Eyes Wyvern. Once for a turn, during your end phase, you can banish this card from your grave, then target one Red Eyes monster in your grave, special summon that target. You cannot normal summon or set during the turn you activate this effect. So that helps out a lot. And you're going to get him in the graveyard either by getting him destroyed or Red Eyes Insight. Hopefully Red Eyes Insight. Then you have Dark Magician, the ultimate wizard in terms of attack and defense. So, yeah, once more, these are all just for your fusions right now. So, then you have Elemental Hero Neos. Warrior, 2500 attack, normal, level 7 light attribute. Red Eyes Black Dragon, dark attribute, level 7, dragon, normal monster, 2400 attack, 2000 defense. Then we're moving on to spells. Called by the Grave. Target one monster in your opponent's graveyard, banish it, and if you do, until the end of the next turn, its effects are negated, as well as the activated effects and effects on the field of monsters with the same original name. This will help get you some negates on your opponent's hand traps, so that way you can play a little bit better without as many interruptions. Then you have Neos Fusions. Special summon one fusion monster from your extra deck that lists exactly 2 monsters as material, including Elemental Hero Neos, by sending those monsters from your hand or deck or field, ignoring its summoning conditions. For the rest of this turn, after this card resolves, you cannot special summon monsters. If a fusion monster you control that lists Elemental Hero Neos as material would be destroyed by battle or card effect, or shuffled into the extra deck by its own effect, you can banish this card from your grave instead. So that'll also help protect your Rainbow Neos, which helps out. Next, you have 2 copies of Numeron Calling. If Numeron Network is in your field zone and you control no monsters, special summon up to 4 Numeron Gate Exceeds monsters with different names from your extra deck, but banish them during the end phase. Also, you can only normal summon or special summon once for the rest of this turn. I wish it was normal and special summon, but that aura changes it too. You can only do 1. That kind of sucks, but still. Numeron Network. During your main phase, send 1 Numeron normal spell card that meets its activation conditions from your deck to the graveyard. This effect becomes that spell's effect when that card is activated. You can only use this effect of Numeron Network once per turn. Numeron Exceeds monsters you control can activate effects without detaching Exceeds materials. So that's mostly going to be, so possibly OTKing, and if you can squeeze it without Dragoon, without the Biru, you probably don't want to risk it, but a possibility is to help you negate a little better can be Neos Fusion or the Red Eyes Fusion, if you're going for the OTK strategy, but you're probably going to usually go for Zexal or the regular 4 Gate OTK. Next, we have 3 Red Eyes Fusions. Fusion summon 1 fusion monster to list a Red Eyes monster as material from your extra deck, using monsters from your hand, deck, or field as fusion materials. And if you do, its name becomes Red Eyes Black Dragon. You cannot normal or special summon other monsters to turn you activate this effect. You can only activate 1 Red Eyes Fusion per turn. Then you have Red Eyes Insight. Send 1 Red Eyes monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard, or from your hand or deck to the grave. Add 1 Red Eye spell or trap card from your deck to your hand, except Red Eyes Insight. You can only activate 1 Red Eyes Insight per turn. That's going to be your Red Eyes Fusion that you're going to get, and you're probably going to want to send your Red Eyes Wyvern. Then you have Jar of Avarice. Target 5 cards in your graveyard except Jar of Avarice. Shuffle all 5 into the deck, then draw 1 card. You can only use activate 1 Jar of Avarice per turn. You're going to have 2 of it because you get rid of a lot of cards. It's a fusion and Numeron and stuff like that. Then Rainbow Neos. Level 10 Warrior Fusion effect. 4,500 attack, 3,000 defense. 1 Elemental Heroes plus 1 Ultimate Crystal Monster. Must be fusion some of the above fusion materials and cannot be special summoned by other ways. Once per turn, you can activate 1 of these effects. Send 1 monster you control to the graveyard. Shuffle all monsters your opponent controls into the deck. Send 1 spell or trap you control to the graveyard. Shuffle all spells and traps your opponent controls into the deck. Send 1 card from the top of your deck to the grave. Shuffle all monsters and cards in your opponent's graveyard into the deck. So that can also cause some interruptions, since some cards need cards in the grave, some cards need spell and traps, and some cards need monsters. So this can help get rid of everything. Then you have Dragoon, of course. Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, level 8. Dark Attribute, Spellcaster, Fusion Effect, 3,000 attack, 2,500 defense. Dark Magician plus Red Eyes Black Dragon or 1 Dragon Effect monster. And these player can target or destroy this card with card effects. During your main phase, you can destroy 1 monster your opponent controls, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's original attack. This effect can be used up to the number of normal monsters used for as fusion material for this card's summon. Once per turn, when a card or effect is activated, you can discard 1 card, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. If you do that, this card gains 1 points. Another way to get your Red Eyes Wyvern in the grave is this thing. And also, since this card can be spelled by other ways, Red Eyes Wyvern, let's say Red Eyes Black Dragon as this thing. it says 1 red-eyed monster in your grave. So I believe, unless I'm missing something, you can just summon red-eyed dragoon to give you some more advantage. Next is an Infinitrack Fortress of Megaclops. This is more of an option. You don't really have to, but I like it. It's something that's going to help fill your deck. Machine Link effects, 4,000 attack, Link 3. 3 Xyz monsters unaffected by other monsters' effects, except those of Xyz monsters, cannot be destroyed by battle except with Xyz monster. You can target 1 Xyz monster in your graveyard and one card your opponent controls, special summon that monster from your grave. And if you do, attach that opponent's card to this card to it as material. Also, for the rest of this turn, any damage your opponent takes is halved. So this card can also be comboed off well with Utopic Zexal, so it can get some more material. So, yeah. Next, we have number 1, Numeron Gate Ecom. Machine Xyz effects, rank 1, light attribute, 3 level 1 monsters, cannot be destroyed by battle. At the end of the damage step, if this card battles an opponent's monster, you can attach 1 Xyz from this card, double the attack of all numeron monsters you currently control, until the end of this turn. Number 2, Numeron Gate Div. Light attribute, rank 1, machine Xyz effect, 1,000 attack, 100 defense. 3 level 1 monsters. Cannot be destroyed by battle. At the end of the damage step, if this card battles an opponent's monster, you can attach 1 Xyz for this card, double the attack for all numeron monsters you control. Okay, guys, I'm not going to go through the rest. They all have the same effect. The only thing different is their name. Chaos number 1, Numeron Chaos Gate Sunya. Dark attribute, level 2, rank 2, machine Xyz effect. 2,000 attack, 1,000 defense. 4 level 2 monsters. You can also exceed some of this card by using number 1, Numeron Gate Ecom you control as material. Transfer 8 Xyz materials to this card. If this card is Xyz summoned, banish all monsters on the field. Once per turn during the next standby phase after this card is banished, you can special summon this banished card. Then if Numeron Network is in your field zone, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the combined attack of all banished Xyz monsters. So that helps out. Getting rid of some of your opponent's monsters. It could technically get rid of Dragoon if you didn't negate it, but eh. Then number S0, Utopic Zexal. Warrior Xyz effect, light attribute, mystery attack, and defense. 3 number Xyz monsters the same rank. You can also Xyz summon this card by discarding 1 ring of magic normal spell card, then using Utopia monster you control as Xyz material. Those cards Xyz summon cannot be negated. When Xyz summon, your opponent cannot activate cards and effects. Cannot be activated. Gains 1,000 attack and defense for each Xyz material attached to it. Once per your opponent's turn, quick effect, detach 1 Xyz material from this card. Your opponent card and effects cannot be activated this turn. And like I said, so the side deck can basically just be anything you want. It could be a bunch of floodgates. It could be Mystic Mine. Don't know why you'd play Mystic Mine, but could be Mystic Mine. Could be Solemn Judgment. Could be anything you want. Could be more hand traps, but I'm just gonna leave the deck up to you guys. And I really hope you guys enjoyed my deck. Please comment down below, share, like the video, subscribe, and if you get any of these cards, please make sure to go to Calabasas Gaming to help support the channel. And I will see you later.